The road to Black Hollow Asylum was never meant for travelers. It was a cracked, unpaved stretch of dirt winding through skeletal trees that seemed to lean in with every gust of wind, as if they wanted to whisper secrets to those foolish enough to walk its path. Locals swore the asylum had been abandoned for nearly 50 years, ever since a fire gutted half the west wing and left behind only the charred shells of walls and the screams of those who never escaped. The town avoided the subject, but every now and then, thrill-seeking teenagers would venture inside its rusted gates, hoping for a glimpse of the infamous window watchers, shadowy figures that appeared in the shattered glass whenever anyone entered the property. On a dare, 4 college students, Mara, Jason, Eliza, and Luke, decided to film their exploration for a documentary-style project. With handheld cameras, flashlights, and too much bravado, they crossed the gates just as the sun bled away, leaving the asylum bathed in an eerie twilight glow. The air shifted instantly, colder, heavier, carrying the acrid tang of smoke that had no business lingering after 5 decades. Inside, the asylum was a maze of peeling wallpaper, overturned gurneys, and doors hanging off their hinges like broken jaws. The silence was so thick it rang in their ears, broken only by the occasional drip of water echoing through the halls. "Keep filming," Mara whispered, her voice trembling despite her attempts to sound in control. Their flashlights flickered, not once, but in unison, and in that moment they saw movement at the far end of the hall, a figure in a patient's gown, head bowed, arms dangling. Jason, laughing nervously, called out, "Nice try, guys, but we're not falling for it." But no one had staged anything. The figure raised its head with a slow, unnatural jerk, revealing a mouth sewn shut with thick black thread and eyes that burned like hot coals in the dark. Before anyone could scream, the lights blinked again, and the hallway was empty. Panic spread through the group like wildfire, but the asylum seemed alive now, doors slamming on their own, distant cries echoing from nowhere, and shadows peeling themselves off the walls. Luke swore he felt cold fingers brush the back of his neck, though no one was near him. Eliza's camera picked up something no one saw in the moment. In every frame, just over their shoulders, patients in scorched gowns stood silently, watching, multiplying with every step the group took. By the time they realized the exits were no longer where they should be, it was too late. The asylum was shifting, its hallways looping back into themselves, trapping them deeper inside. They stumbled into the old therapy ward, where rusted chairs were arranged in a perfect circle, and on each seat lay a human jawbone, polished clean as if waiting for new owners. The air grew heavy, and whispers seeped from the walls, not one voice, but dozens, layered over each other, chanting something in a language none of them understood. Jason dropped his camera and bolted, but the others weren't fast enough. Shadows swarmed him, and when the light returned, only his blood-stained shoes remained. Mara, Eliza, and Luke pressed on, desperately searching for another way out, but every door they opened revealed the same room again and again. The burned ward, its walls still glowing faintly as if embers smoldered beneath them. In the center of the room stood the figure with the sewn mouth, this time holding Jason's camera. It raised a finger to its lips, the universal sign for silence, and then the walls around them erupted in screams. The cameras flickered violently, recording fragments, Mara being pulled into the floor by blackened hands, Luke thrashing as unseen restraints dragged him into an old gurney. Eliza's wide, terrified eyes as the lens went dark. The footage was later found weeks after the group vanished, left neatly on the asylum steps. No bodies were ever recovered, but those who dared to watch the tape claimed that in the final frame, just before the static, the camera caught all 4 students standing in the therapy ward, their mouths sewn shut and their eyes burning like coals, waiting for the next set of visitors.